My bad. It wasn't screen share. Give me 1 second. What's up, everybody? Welcome to LEPtv.Live. Got too many tabs open up. Excuse me there for a second. We're back in business now. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? First I want smoke, then it's just plain. Nigga with a hoe, you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Trying to fuck me as soon as I land. Turn her out, she rip my. Yeah, it's hard to be this dope. Ain't about the weed I smoke. I've been like V5-4. From my height, they would never know. Still I get treated like a joke. Looking up, but the bar is low. So there's a reason I'm a ghost in the league all on my own. Yeah, it's hard to be that dope. They call me Mazakuda, get your body, I won't do if you push me, buddy. I'm not Buddha, but I'll never shoot, it's more like County Kua. Don't fuck with me, I'll pass it to my knees. Don't ask me just how they'll do you. At a disadvantage, cause my standards you can't handle, Junior. Put them in a panic with some stats or hard facts, they get to them. While you're busy laughing, got a baddie, puts her back into it. Ain't seen a challenge, so these actors give them attitude. See this dope, ain't about the weed I smoke, I've been like V5. From my height, they will never know. Still I get treated like a joke. Looking up, but the bar is low, so that's the reason I'm a ghost in the league all on my own. Yeah, it's hard to be that dope when you found the key to the door, the red road. It's the soul setting goals in its soul, but this is really not a joke. We've been broke, we've been stolen, we've been holding on to hope. No more dope, so we're going. Yeah, I've been along for the chase. That means I home for the ones who pray. I pray for the ones who stayed. Stay true to traditional ways. They revitalize the language and aim to break the chains and give their lives its dedication. They know what's still at stake. It's the answers to debating, watching. No, they'll never entertain all you dancing for them daughters to asking what about our pain. You're ready, changing tactics. Can't you see the time we waste on all the pageants, the crafting? There's no passion. I think it's hard about getting paid. That's whose fault. Tribal leaders, they point the finger. Honestly, fuck them all. They bleed our people, they feed their ego. Bank account looking tall. The truth that pisses them off. The fact is they dropped the ball. We can start impeachments by law. It's hard to be this dope. Ain't about the weed I smoke. I've been like V5-4. From my height, they will never know. Still I get treated like a joke. Looking up, but the bar is low, so that's the reason I'm a ghost in the league all on my own. Yeah, it's hard to be that dope. Just remember who kept us going. Yeah, we got the talent. Without their help, we were pretty slow. All those nights, bringing to light all the flaws that stunt our growth. So when you get up on that high horse, take a pause, shout out the folks. All the spouses, the ones who saw us at our lowest, still never doubted it. All the parents who bailed us out, do we pay them back? I doubt it. All the therapists and teachers, so bosses, the ones we clowned, or all the brothers and sisters who kept it real, you held it down. It's hard to be this dope, ain't about the weed I smoke. I've been like V5-4. From my height, they will never know. Still I get treated like a joke. Looking up, but the bar is low, so that's the reason I'm a ghost in the league all on my own. Dang. What a track. What a track. Well, up to LEPtv.Live. Wow. Man. What is going on? Iron Shooter.
Fire, bro. That was fire. You won't believe how much you sound like Yellow, bro. Dang. I'm in this dude's video, man, him and Cowboy Killer. And if he hurt, bro, I hope he does. I hope y'all too, man. I'm telling you.
He gonna hear this.
It's crazy. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be amazing. No, I actually hear that a lot in Cypress Hill. So I think it goes between both of those two a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see that. Let everybody know who you are and stuff, man.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm Jonathan. I go by Kutamaza, but really it's Maza Kuta for the real name, which means Iron Shooter in Dakota. I'm Oglala, Minikoju, Shikangu, and Sisitin, Wapitin, Oyate, and that means Ochete Shakoin for everyone else, Lakota, Dakota. I'm from the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation, but I live in Minnesota. I was adopted. I was kind of brought up in, like I said, in the country, near actually a reservation here in Minnesota, the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. So I wasn't always away from the indigenous people. I was just, it took me until after 18 to really expand, know who was around me, know that I was actually Dakota. I grew up in a place here in Minnesota called Cokato, And the whole time I didn't know that that meant in the middle in my language. So, I ended up growing up in a spot that my ancestors lived on. We had a treaty that it should be still active today, but unfortunately in 1862 they illegally abrogated that treaty because we stood up against traders keeping our money, keeping our food from us because of the Civil War was going on. So we ended up essentially having to stand up for our rights, having to, raid food the food where they were the storage. We had and a war ensued. And because of that, they took our treaty rights. So here in Dakota, the Dakota and Minnesota now, we only have 17 square miles of land, of traditional land. So a lot of us got pushed to Cheyenne River, where I am, to Standing Rock, to Crow Creek, and then a lot went up into Canada even in that time. So right now I'm in a time of kind of stepping into that educational role, making sure that people know that it happened here in Minnesota. I don't know if you guys know this, but Minnesota actually means Mine Shota Makoche. It means the land where the water reflects the clouds. So Minnesota is a Dakota word derives from it. And so as well as here in Minnesota, there's a lot of Anishinaabe. They basically have the top half of Minnesota. The Mississippi River is an Anishinaabe word. We kind of share the traditional homelands of the Dakota now, and are looking to expand our rights so that we can have the same rights as the Anishinaabe here in Minnesota. But I could go on about that specific topic all day. I actually started an organization called the Western Hemisphere Indigenous Network. And our goal, alongside of our other organization, Next to the Collaborations, was to get into schools, to get into colleges, to get into tribal councils, to get anywhere we can to get that education out. And for me, I was already doing hip hop for a long time. I just kind of switched my message from, really just the basic partying, doing that type of thing, to what I was speaking on daily, which is the Indigenous people. So I kind of just, as you heard, there's a lot of stuff in those lyrics. If you listen closely, if you know the Indigenous struggle, everything is pretty specific. So some of it might go, but I always add in stuff that people get, because there's a lot of stereotypes for us Indigenous people. One of them is that we are alcoholics, and the truth of that is we do have the highest addiction rate out of any race here in the United States. And that is because we have the highest poverty rate. We don't have an economy, so we have the highest unemployment rate as well. We also have the highest dropout education rate. And when you combine all those together, and there's alcohol presented, and you have very little money, that's where usually a genocide starts heading. So unfortunately, we do fit 576 tribes, and the ones that are outside the United States, the First Nations in Mexico, South Central America, fit all 5 criteria for active genocide. So we're getting our children taken from us, whether it's through the foster care adoption system. That is a criteria, taking children, and that's one of them. The language then disappears with that. So the alcohol, the addiction, the suicide rate, we have the highest rate of our youth. So these combined really just all paint the broader picture that extermination policy is still happening today. And so that's why I think it's so important for us Indigenous people, and really everyone who's in music, to use their voices to educate the general public, because everyone listens to music, whether they're working out, going to work, driving. So I think it's really important we switch from the basic stuff to really just educating. And obviously people love to hear the fun lyrics, the good beats and stuff. We can still do that and get a good message out. So I always implore Indigenous artists especially to use their voices for those specific things, because if we don't, and if we do play into these stereotypes, like drinking, like casinos, you'll see a lot of casino stuff. We're more than that. And what those pictures paint when we do those things is is that we're doing okay, that we are on the same level as other communities, and that is a disservice to where we are in our struggle, which is, like I said, genocide. And we hear about Gaza, we hear about Ukraine, we hear about Sudan, but we never hear about the silent genocide that's happening here to indigenous people. So that's why I thought it was important to switch to making sure that the education is getting out on all levels. And I think I have a good array of people, whether they're youth to even like 6-year-olds listening to my music and being able to relate. And that'll expand. I really just right now getting the education out. Once I put an album out, we'll get some fun ones on there and get some ones that are not so serious. But as like I said, we're in this state of emergency. So I think that using all avenues to get that message out is so important. And that's why you'll hear the lyrics are very, very tribal, a tribal setting, reservation setting. And I'm an urban indigenous person, but I know that the people on the reservation, they hold the land, they hold the treaty, behind that red tape, they hold the language. So it's important for us people off the reservation to be a line of defense for them, because a lot of times they can't speak because, like I said, bottom of every social health and economic indicator. So that's why, it's, like I said, it's important for that message. So
yeah, that's wow. I hate to hear about that with the property and all that was hard work and all that out that way. That's sad the way the world we live in.
This shit been going on for years, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yep. It's it actually started in the 1400s, and unfortunately a domino effect across into the 1800s, and that's when the United States essentially got it down from multiple different people that we don't really talk about. A lot of people are like, oh, colonialism, oh, America, you did this, but in reality it was the Spanish, the Portuguese, the French, who were here first, and they kind of laid out a path for the British, for a bunch of other people to come in and kind of take control. Because the French, until the Louisiana Purchase, they were basically roaming Minnesota with the Anishinaabe, just pretty much taking over everything. So, and then when they got bought out, they left, and then what happened is the United States steps in, tells people where they're going to be, and that's where a lot of the wars started. It was like we had an agreement with people before. Now we're trading leadership, and we see that nowadays kind of with when a company shuts down, they fire all their employees. It's like, wait, like that's not that's not right, but that's what happened to us. And then that's how wars started between tribes. That's how wars started between different factions of tribes too. So, and what they did was starve us out. Simultaneously, they were taking out the bison while they were kind of rounding us up into reservations. So they knew from basically from a few different instances where they were like, oh, so if we get rid of their food source, they have to go rely on us. And then from there, it's kind of just wean them into this poverty, what we see today, which is we're getting out of that, because what you'll see is the people standing up, demanding jobs, demanding this stuff. But at the same time, unfortunately, our tribal councils are selling out to corporations or to states on a state level. Instead of taking control of our self-determination, our sovereignty, we kind of sign it off into the United States and kind of partner with them to regulate stuff. So it's we're in a weird climate right now where you're going to see some nations stepping up into their true sovereignty. Others are just going to step into start turning into the United States, which some of them may be on that brink of just needing to not become the United States, but because they are so diminished and disappearing so fast, that something needs to happen for them, whether another nation, a tribal nation, like even adopts them into their bigger nation. Like, let's say the Crow, the Mandan, the Arikara, they're pretty small, but let's say there's the Lakota, who have this huge territory. But I'm misspeaking, because they actually do have a treaty together already. But let's say there's smaller tribes around them that don't have any representation. It's like, come into our lands, we'll give you your spot. And I see that happening eventually, but it's going to take a lot of education. And right now, unfortunately, a lot of our people believe that we are sovereign. They believe that we are doing what we need to do. And unfortunately, I don't see that. The data, the statistics say that we are going the opposite direction of that. So it's a huge topic, and that's why, it's culturally, linguistically, everything's being diminished. And it's unfortunate, but the mainstream is not talking about that. Even our native mainstream is talking about Trump, talking about Gaza, talking about Ukraine and all these other things, when we should be pointing that camera and all those stories to tribal councils, to the state level, where something's not going, nothing's going on. It's like
Nothing. Yeah.
it's like what we've been pointing the finger for too long. Now we need to look in the mirror. We need to see what we're doing wrong. They can look in the mirror too and see what they're doing wrong. And at the same time, we work together to implement solutions that are going to, because in reality, why does the United States want 576 poor nations asking for handout, asking for those BIA dollars that are already not enough, So the reality is, you give them, they have trust responsibility. They give $38 billion out to the BIA, which goes to education. It's not enough, but implemented correctly, and with all the different grants and stuff, what Indigenous nations can do is create an economy, create these different things. But unfortunately, we have constitutions that the United States wrote for us. So unfortunately, we have to go in, we have to amend the constitutions that were written for us, which we can do. We just don't realize that we can do it. So that's where we're at right now, is initiating new policy that allows, everyone to be sovereign. And like I said, we need to start looking at the tribal councils who are, and you'll see it all over the news, embezzling $2 million here, and it'll be like from 10 years ago. But that stuff's happening now. That's why we see the millions of dollars go in,
Mm-hmm. This world is greed. It's all about greed.
It's happening everywhere. Yeah, that's why I was finna say, even here in my little city, man, there's a lot of espionage going on, bro. And they know it too, and they're starting to crack down on it. So, I mean,
what's up, JC Fresh?
Work itself out,
How you doing?
What don't come out in the wash, come out in the rinse. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh yeah. It's happening. It really is happening everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Hey, do y'all have casinos over there? Like over here in like Cherokee, North Carolina, they got to be able to do like the cannabis, and they got to do a casino.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of regulations that states have, the tribal council, the tribal governments don't have. So yeah, you can get casinos. You can start the cannabis. Actually, here in Minnesota, the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe just signed a compact with the state to regulate all of the cannabis in the state. So, but that was one of the things where it was like, that's good for Mille Lacs, but partnering with the state, they're going to regulate, they're going to tax. You could have had control of that if you really wanted to. But that's the game that a lot of tribal councils have to play into if they want to not have a bunch of feds, on their borders or state level officials being, checking to make sure if they're being legal or not. So in reality, we're dealing with the same thing nowadays we were back in the day, a little bit of forced, like, hey, you want to do this partnership, otherwise you can't do anything, or otherwise you'll be heavily regulated.
Right.
And unfortunately for my tribal nation, we're so far out in South Dakota that we don't have, we're talking about a casino. We don't really have a casino. It wouldn't really make sense. But
right,
that's where we need to be more innovative as tribal nations, and utilize our resources. There's hundreds of semis that go through South Dakota every day. So it's like, let's do some toll roads, and everyone else has them, right? So it's simple stuff like that can get us really boosted and get us on that level of everyone is going through it. When in reality, we see America, what is it, 35 trillion in debt. Everyone, everything's going up. And I think that if we can, as an indigenous nations, if we can get out of where we're at, that's a model for the rest of America on a local city level with mayors, with district officials to start doing this stuff in cities and stop relying on the federal government, because, we see that even.
Yeah.
Right. So that's on every level. Indigenous people, we just have it at a more extreme level. And like I said, if we can crack that code, the rest is going to be pretty easy. But there's always going to be people who don't want that,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dang. That's Zilla Gorilla on the bottom corner. He came in while you were talking. What's up, Zilla Gorilla?
How's it going?
What's happening?
He also
Nice to
does
meet you.
music.
Nice. Yeah. I'll have to look you up. You're on Spotify and
He everywhere.
Everything. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's everywhere.
He
Yeah,
everywhere. He like the boogeyman.
Right. I just got on everything. I've never been. I've only released my stuff on social media. I was kind of waiting for a time where I could get that message in there and make it worth it, instead of just like the.
Understood. Absolutely.
Well, you did it. You did it.
See exactly what you're doing. You're doing the right thing. That's exactly what these people need, man.
For real. Have you heard did you get to check any of the beginning of the show, Zilla?
I didn't. I came in straight from work and I jumped on.
I got you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna play that track again. Is that cool? So Zilla can hear it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. Yeah, for sure.
Let's go.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? First of all, let it just play. Nigga with a hoe, you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, fam? See what I'm saying? Trying to fuck me as soon as I land. Turn her out, she rip my.
Yeah, it's hard to be this dope. Ain't about the weed I smoke. I've been like V5-4. From my height, they would never know. Still I get treated like a joke. Looking up, but the bar is low. So that's the reason I'm a ghost in the league all on my own. Yeah, it's hard to be that dope. They call me Mazakuda, get your body, I won't do if you push me, buddy. I'm not Buddha, but I'll never shoot, it's more like counting coup up. Don't fuck with me, I'll pass it to my knees. Don't ask me just how they'll do you. At a disadvantage, cause my standards you can't handle, Junior. Put them in a panic with some stats or hard facts, they get to them. While you're busy laughing, got a baddie, puts her back into it. Ain't seen a challenge, so these actors give them attitude. See this dope, ain't about the weed I smoke, I've been like V5. From my height, they will never know. Still I get treated like a joke. Looking up, but the bar is low, so that's the reason I'm a ghost in the league all on my own. Yeah, it's hard to be that dope when you found the key to the door, the red road. It's the soul setting goals in its soul, but this is really not a joke. We've been broke, we've been stolen, we've been holding on to hope. No more dope, so we're going. Yeah, I've been along for the chase. That means I home for the ones who prayed. I pray for the ones who stayed. Stay true to traditional ways. They revitalize the language and aim to break the chains and give their lives its dedication. They know what's still at stake. It's the answers to the hate and watching no tail. Never entertain all you dancing for them daughters to asking what about our pain. You're ready, changing tactics. Can't you see the time we waste on all the pageants, the crafting? There's no passion. I think it's hard about getting paid. That's whose fault. Tribal leaders, they point the finger. Honestly, fuck them all. They bleed our people, they feed their ego. Bank account looking tall. The truth that pisses them off. The fact is they dropped the ball. We can start impeachments by law. It's hard to be this dope. Ain't about the weed I smoke. I've been like V5-4. From my height, they will never know. Still I get treated like a joke. Looking up, but the bar is low, so that's the reason I'm a ghost in the league all on my own. Yeah, it's hard to be that dope. Just remember who kept us going. Yeah, we got the talent. Without their help, we were pretty slow. All those nights bringing to light all the flaws that stunt our growth. So when you get up on that high horse, take a pause, shout out the folks. All the spouses, the ones who saw us at our lowest, still never doubted. And all the parents who bailed us out, do we pay them back? I doubt it. All the therapists and teachers, so bosses, the ones we clowned, are all the brothers and sisters who kept it real, you held it down. It's hard to be this dope. Ain't about the weed I smoke, I've been like V5-4. From my height, they will never know. Still I get treated like a joke. Looking up, but the bar is low, so that's the reason I'm a ghost in the league all on my own.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, fuck.
Yeah. It kind of has that young Yellow Wolf sound, but man, it's definitely working for you, bro. Like, fucking push that shit, dude. Push it to the max, man.
That's
100%.
On all my social media platforms. I mean, if you can, if you think about it, tag me in it. I'll reshare it for you.
Oh hell yeah, that'd be amazing.
That,
me as well.
That's
Jason
really
13, Jason Chester, me as well.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Man. I fuck with that. Like I could totally work with you. Like I mean, I rap kind of like that too. So.
And I was telling him, I was like literally in Yellow Wolf and Cowboy Killer's video, man. He's such a good guy, right? And then he played me that song, and I went, bro, you can be Yellow Wolf's little bro.
Yeah, you got
100% Yellow Wolf's little brother, man.
Like drop, man, and that is not easy to accomplish, or you know what I'm saying, to put out there. I know you probably just doing you.
Exactly. Crump music, bro. Crump music.
But your flow is great, bro. And your message is there. I understood it completely all the way through. Good job, bro.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's odd over here in the Midwest. I think my style is a little out of region. I don't know, because
no, fuck that. Be you.
Right.
You're doing it. Don't worry about what nobody else said. You do it. You do what you're doing right now.
And to hear you talk, like both of these guys that are on here that just heard you explain yourself and everything, and the way you talk is definitely different than the way you rap.
Oh yeah. That's what everyone.
I can tell you're very educated. You're very
educated, really very modest. Hey, I'm from Tennessee. I'm not as much Indian as you. I'm a mutt. I'm just gonna say I'm a mutt, bro.
We're all mutts.
But I'm just telling you right now, I love to have you present yourself very, very, bro, professionally, very well spoken. Both of these guys could say that too. And then to hear you rap, I went,
yeah, you keep pushing that shit.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they two different guys. Same dude.
I noticed that you changed your cadence up twice. Do you do all the same type of music, or do you like to explore in genres?
I do actually. I kind of like more of like a. I've done kind of like a country, you know, that style. I like doing pop, like a kind of more of a pop, you know, that type of. But I still, in general, I still rap that same pace. I have a hard time actually rapping a little bit slower. It's like hard for me to be like, I feel like there should be filler in there or something, you know? So,
that's what the ad-libs are for.
Right. Yeah, I think I need to. That's where one of the things I should expand on is actually.
Or something I'm starting to learn and I'm starting to really discover is it's okay to just stop and leave a little room. You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Especially if you say something that's really meaningful. Because it resonates with people better if you give them a pause. You know what I'm saying? Like I said that. You know what I'm saying? Type shit.
That's true.
So let the music bump right there somewhere. Just let the music bump and let them think about it. You know what I'm saying?
I can't wait to see your visuals.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually. I'm hoping actually with this next one. I think I posted a preview on my YouTube here too. Of what a day it is to be a native. I'm hoping that's my first music video. I was gonna have a few people on it, but I decided might as well, you know, release it as my own song, and then from there, just, you know, get some people on a remix.
Do you know Frank Thompson?
I don't.
He's also native, and he's a really good fucking artist. I would like to plug y'all in together. I don't know what tribe he's from or his history or background. I met him on a tour, but he's a really cool dude, man, and y'all would mesh so well.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, I'm always looking for people to actually collaborate on some of these, you know, have a topic on some of these songs where we're, you know, actually what we know and getting these stories out to the youth actually, so they can hear that there's more, you know, to the music.
Well, hit me up for the silly shit, because I'll be in the bushes smoking cushions. You feel me?
Right. No, I'm looking. That's probably some of the songs I'll be making, and I'll hit you up on those ones. I actually steer away from any alcohol, especially from our where the situation we're in. I know that there's plenty of people in the world who can handle their alcohol. Unfortunately, the indigenous people were actually allergic to it. So we go from, and that's why there's that stereotype where it's like, oh, they start drinking and they get crazy. It's like because we are dying from it inside, literally. Because
some Spanish people are like that too. Oh, some of these crackers out here like that too. Hell,
I think a lot of the times it is like you're probably mixed with something where that didn't work with those people.
Yeah, no doubt.
And for thousands of years, natives, I'm sure we had berry based alcohol, like where there's fermentation and stuff like that. But
sure.
When it comes to whiskey and vodka and stuff, the natives, we didn't get introduced to that until the beginning of 1600s. Some of us, for Lakota, it was like the 1700s, 1600s. So
can I legally say I ate some peyote?
Yeah, no, I've never.
Not the gun, not buttons. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that in DMT is what everyone's doing nowadays. So
that's a different experience, cuz they took me out the woods, man, and I had a little bowl the size of this remote, a little bitty bowl, and they said just hit it, man. I said like regular. They was like, yeah, just get one pull on it, man.
No.
It's literally like dreaming awake. You're awake. You're awake. It's wild, and the nature is so pretty, and the water sounds so cool, and the air you breathe in feels so good, and the fucking trees are like breathing, dude. And you're breathing, and you're all just like getting along with shit, man. It's crazy.
And I think that's why back in the day people were so connected to. It's like, when you see something breathing, you're just like, oh, that's alive. We better take care of him too,
Yeah,
so I think that's
alive. It's all connected in one ecosystem, man. And like people don't realize that shit. Pissing on one tree affects all 10.
It's true. Yeah, I think that a lot of that stuff you can, a lot of our ceremonies actually were connected to those things. But a lot of all their ceremonies was literally from just exhaustion, just climbing a mountain, let's say. You get to the top of it, you're so exhausted, you start hallucinating a little bit.
Burn out,
you start to see, more clearly because you're on that edge of, and I think that was like where some of that knowledge comes from, whether it's from, from a high, from like shroom mushrooms or from, ayahuasca, anything like that. It's like just opens up those receptors, I think, and then you can think a little bit differently outside the box. I think that's our issue, is we're so stuck in that educational structure from when we're kindergarten. We're going into these schools that are very similar.
Video for you. You take somebody like me from the backwoods of Georgia to a ceremony, that would be a perfect video for you.
Basically,
I'll stay straight faced. I'll really do the ritual. Like I really will, but that's going to be very interesting because my point of view from being down in West Georgia on the riverbank somewhere is definitely different, I'm sure, from your lands.
Well, the funny thing is, we actually, the Lakota, Dakota, the Ochete Shakawee, the Mandan, Arikara, everyone up here in the Black Hills, we 1,000 years ago, or in between 1,000 years, we were over in South Carolina. We were over in that on the East Coast, actually, and then further back we were down by Florida, down by Louisiana, by the Mississippi River. So you'll see that pattern, and farther back than that, we're looking at glacial. When there's glaciers here in this area. So
there's lots of tribes around here. I know for sure on my daddy and my mother's side, I have Cherokee.
Right, and that's honestly the Cherokee. They come from those. We all come from those original people who were in the Florida, and the Yucatan Peninsula. There was a lot of trading going on there. So what we've seen is a lot of the same stories, even in South America up here. And we're in the point now in science where they're, you know, figuring out the land bridge theory was fake. That just made enough sense for everyone at the time. They switched it to, they just followed the coastline in their boats, but then that didn't really work out. Now they're saying, you know, there was people coming from, you know, South America making their way north, and then they met people who were coming from, you know, the Siberia, you know, Russia area coming, and they kind of met in the middle. But you know, that's where we're at now in kind of the scientific era. But you know, science doesn't really like that, because what that does is it shows that from, you know, the Aztec to from the Maya, from Peru all the way up to the First Nations, the Algonquin, the Iroquois, the Lakota, we're all related.
I always thought a good side of the indigenous whole family, like the whole race of indigenous people, I always thought it kind of did come from Maya.
It definitely comes from we definitely come from regions down there, and I'm not going to say we're all the same people, but you know,
no, of course.
We can see now, like even in smaller history, we go back to let's say the 1600s. The Lakota and the Dakota, they were living together in different bands in Minnesota, kind of on the border regions of the prairie. And because we didn't want to live in, you know, we didn't really need to live in a prairie where there was nothing. We went into the prairie to hunt. You know, everything came to Minnesota because Minnesota had water. That was the biggest thing. So we had everything we needed. And so what happened is the after the French.
My daughter's from Argentina.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, that's what I always say. I say from Argentina to Alaska, we're going through this, and it's like essentially that's where, you know, and we can see in Minnesota.
I traveled a lot.
Right.
Buenos Aires.
I've never been to, so I would love to go. I would love to go down there.
My daughter too, Mr. Gary, met her on the phone tonight. She's a musician, rapper, singer in Panama City Beach, Florida. And she was born in Chaco, Argentina. Her mama met me in Panama City Beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I flew back with her to Buenos Aires, and then the Resistencia in the Chaco. Yeah, my daughter's probably watching right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
but it's Julia. Yeah.
Yeah, we're you know, the indigenous people are everywhere, and I think that's, you know, we just need to get the basic message out that we're still here, and then from there we can lay out where we're at, you know, socially, you know, where our health is. And then I think that a lot of, you know, we're going to relate a lot more than we think. I think that the plan was for the general public to think we're rich, to think we're abusing our money, to think we're doing, and everyone does that, right? Every human, all the races of people, they have the people who are addicted, who are
parents do that shit down here in the neighborhood, man. We just getting by.
All right, and then so that's a reflection of the poverty of the economy. Really, that's the job. Yeah. It's like, you know, we're not getting paid enough to even. And you look back 20 years ago, and you know, these people who were buying houses for what, like 20 years ago, $50,000.
Next to nothing for the fee now.
Right. And so we're paying like triple, quadruple of what they were. And it's like, this is a different time period and that's why AI is going to pop in here anytime and take our jobs, and they're going to start handing us checks. And that's where I'm telling you,
my job, AI can't pierce a septum straight.
I don't know. Elon Musk.
Taking my job, bro.
No, but essentially that's what I'm thinking is going to happen is you know, for a lot of the factory work, a lot of this construction, even, you know, it's going to be, hey, unfortunately we're shutting down. Here's a package for you. And then I think what's going to open up is the federal government's going to do like the EBT, unemployment, you know, like they did in COVID. I think it was
going to school for technical
I think
support.
it was a kind of a test run for what was.
Don't need maintenance.
I'm gonna keep dropping videos, bro. I'm gonna keep singing.
Right.
Big pub.
No, we need
just
to
keep it.
Yeah, and so essentially, I think that what we're all going to be dealing with, because we're dual citizen. I'm a dual citizen technically. I have my tribal citizenship, and then I'm an American citizenship. So
My daughter too.
Right. Yeah. So it's an odd thing. I think in reality, because of the United States is basically our parents when it comes down to it, our guardian. So they're not technically dual citizens, but if we want our sovereignty, that's what we're going to have to start calling ourselves, So I kind of started now so that, we can go into that time period where we're like, yeah, I'm a citizen of my nation. Right now we're tribes, we're communities, we don't really, and we say we're nations, but unfortunately, when we're getting everything paid for by the federal government, I'm not going to say we can say that, Same with other countries around the world who are getting paid for, by the United States for other things. It's like, can you say you're sovereign if another bigger country is, paying your bills? And that is where I think all of us need to start, as Americans and as Indigenous people, just start seeing where we're at. But we have the control to actually shift the model, which is getting the assets and all that stuff out of places like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, and getting them into our, a community fund, right? Because right now, all of our houses are getting bought up, and they're selling them for way more than anyone can afford. And then that's rolling into the homelessness crisis for everyone, not just Native people. It just turned worse, when the poor people are already poor, and then the lower income households start becoming poor too. We're looking at we're coming up into a place where it's either AI is going to save us, going to boost something for us, or it's going to. I think that's what they're planning on. So that's why they're.
I'm a country boy, man. I know how to live off the land. Like, I mean, if all worse goes to worse, you know what I'm saying?
That's what we.
I won't build a shelter and fucking permit and everything. I know how to do all that.
Right, because you got to think as soon as anything, they start turning water off. They start turning that stuff off. It's like you got to learn, and that's where
Mother Earth, bro. They can't stop Mother Earth whatsoever.
That's true, and that's what the unique is.
But right. So you got to be smarter about it these days, because you got to know what creek, what brook, what area of water is not polluted already. Well, you could ultimately hurt you and everybody else around you if you choose a lame water source. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly. That's true.
I think up north is the cleanest that you can get, man. I think the farther north that you go, now it's going to be cold as fuck. But the farther north you go, I think would be the smartest option.
Yeah,
I'm in Tennessee.
And then you got to learn how to grow crops and shit in little bungalow bunkers. Like, you put something over the top of it, because it's going to snow and shit. It's going to happen. You can't just stop eating.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is the one you just posted, right?
Oh yeah, this is what a day it is to be a Native. Just kind of the end of the chorus, and then part of the last verse, which kind of.
Have you ever corporate Avengers?
Have I ever what?
Corporate Avengers. Dude, they're Native, and they get raw with that stuff, man.
Corporate Avengers.
Yeah, it's called the Cottonmouth Kings and all them. Which, by the way, on my definitely on.
I like that shirt. I thought it was a Cottonmouth King shirt, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, this is actually a one of a kind with them. So, dude, love D-Lo, love all of them, man. Love Johnny Richter and Daddy X and Pakalika, around rest.
Oh, my bad. I hit the wrong button.
No,
sorry.
Go ahead, man. Shit, bump him, man.
All right, guys.
He's awesome, man. I like him, dude. I'm gonna get all his stuff downloaded.
To be a native, take our treaty rights, that's invasion. We've been beaten, bruised, we lost our patience. You to speak the truth to break the chain. Listen, it don't matter if you're full blood, half breed, 1/15, you better show up. No excuse not to represent the sober. Be a voice for the women and children who've been stolen. Fuck your chain. show a token. All these stagnant motherfuckers think I'm joking. Tribal politicians playing us, claiming all the top buying homes and nice cars, blaming Trump. Using culture as a money-driven front. More problems, more funds, compromise the people's trust. They never got it talking about.
Man, I want to hear that song, dog.
That one's coming out. I gotta.
Oh, bro. Damn.
My bad. I said you got to open for that. I can do hip hop a little bit.
I want to hear that full song. When's that one come out? You say?
In a couple weeks. I just gotta get it finished up.
Awesome.
Oh man, I wish you had an exclusive. Dang, that was sick.
Well, I probably actually, if you go on, Facebook, I post that whole verse. So I'm not really. Once it's all together, though, it's about a 3-minute song. So
yeah.
Try to make it long enough.
Yeah, you're a fucking monster, man.
And then there's a lot of on my YouTube, a lot of stuff that I'm not gonna release because it's just a nonprofit beat, that I just got on to practice.
YouTube is its own community. It's like its own thing. I had to learn that here recently. I mean, you got all your social media platforms and you got your TikTok, which is your main vein, but YouTube is its own community.
Yep, exactly.
So,
yep. But
we need to get you out there. We need to push you out there, man. I don't know how we need to do it, but we need to do it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I haven't really. I did get into a lot of local.
Send me too. Yeah, Jason Shelton. Love to.
You said you posted on your Facebook, the full one?
I posted on
Facebook. Wait to search it.
I posted if you scroll down, it's like an animated one. It's like
it's like cartoon.
Yep, and it says coming soon.
Oh yeah. All right.
Bro, that's all.
That's fire, bro. Yeah,
that was tight, bro. I was like this. Had me all into it.
No, man, it had that real classic hip hop feel to it.
For real.
And
I like the classic kind of more, a little bit more.
Yeah, like Cassie's new one, man. Like
I'm gonna play this 1 minute part. Is that cool?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if it ain't, it's too damn bad.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
It don't matter if you're full blood, half breed, 1/15, you better show up. No excuse not to represent the sober. Be a voice for the women and children who've been stolen. Fuck the chain, your turquoise ring, selling drugs to your friends, you don't gang bang. They know it. Entertainment for the rich, show a token. All these second motherfuckers think I'm joking. Tribal politicians playing us, claiming all the top buying homes and nice cars, blaming Trump. Using culture as a money-driven front. More problems, more funds, compromise the people's trust. They never got it talking about sovereign just to beat around the bush for profit. Medicine man turned to false prophets. Take advantage of some really deep pockets. It's a sick game, I'm over it, I won't play. Focusing on closed doors and how to open them. Opportunity to end the homelessness. Competition with the culture, let the language do the rest. I see a future, no bets on the quality of living on and off the west. No poverty, addiction, suicide, or death. Holding out it so our children know the truth and then how to implement what a day it is to be a native. That's the way.
Now wait, this kid needs to be locked away.
Yeah, that kind of lays out just where we're at. Is a lot of our focus is on is on the wrong thing. So it kind of especially
that's bumping, bro.
And I think I bring a little bit of a competition to maybe native hip hop as well, just to kind of give people.
They out there now. I'm gonna let you know.
I like the friendly.
Out there now.
I like the friendly, if the back and forth that there used to be between hip hop artists, and then somewhere that's turned into
exactly. Everybody's gonna get ass hurt these days.
Exactly. So I think that in the native community, especially, that's another thing is we know there's not very many of us, so it's like we can't be, you know, really, you know, dissing each other and stuff like that. But you know, we can push ourselves to do better, you know, be better, you know, raise the bar. And I think that a lot of hip hop artists in my past, you know, they're just kind of like, hey, you inspired me to, you know, step my game up a little bit. So I'm like, if I can do that, you know, that's all I need to do, you know.
It's a Native American dream.
It's yeah, we need to let our art out. And I don't care if you're, I'm gonna be honest with you, you could be really bad at singing, at drawing. If that's the way you let out, you know, your art, you know, if you can, a lot of us use our you know, that to get out our emotions and what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
So it's like,
No,
we need
my
to
fat ass do.
stop the stigma of it's like you have to start being a career and you have to make it a whole thing. It's like, just if you want to, you can obviously do that, but make your music, push your music out, do what you love. I think this society has turned into, you know,
Copycat.
work. Yeah. Oh yeah, that too. It's just like, and yeah, it's like, I need to sound like this new sound. And so in reality, it's like, I want to hear, I still like the early 2000s and 90s rap. So that's what I'm bumping in my car all the time. So it's like, I'm not really listening.
I was going to ask you what was some of your favorite music growing up.
Well, I grew up, like I said,
I wonder if he's going to play Kid Rock
in the country. So it was a lot of country music, actually. So, but then when I actually, you know, started hearing hip hop a lot more, kind of like 3 6 Mafia, you know, Jay-Z, he was a big one when I was growing up, and Blueprint came out around then, so it was like his first, you know, big, you know, takeover. But from there, it wasn't really. He tried pretty hard after that, but basically, it was a lot of me sneaking hip hop on the radio because, you know, my parents were like, you can't be listening to that stuff. It's not, you know.
Did you ever like try Deftones and like Linkin Park and stuff like
that? Oh
that?
yeah, that was acceptable because you couldn't really. I don't think that my parents were listening to the lyrics or anything on that stuff. You know, more.
Right. Well, the first Linkin Park album was clean, and I feel like I've had this conversation with multiple people. I feel like that was the album that changed the whole world because it allowed metal, hip hop, screamo, emo, everything got slapped together in a sandwich.
That's true. Yeah, that was a good starting point to kind of show people that you can do more with hip hop and you can do more with other things too. You don't need to just stay in your genre. You don't need to isolate yourself.
Thing, man. That new metal era was a beautiful thing. Also, like the 90s hip hop era, it was a beautiful thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was that's where I kind of like that because people were starting to get faster with hip hop, and then some of them extremely fast.
I mean, it went from hip hop to actually trap music.
Right. True. And that's where I kind of started a brand off of, you know, just being independent, called Native Drill, because I started just doing drill beats because it made more sense to be able to kind of speak on the, you know, the speak on the
so much easier to rap on. I mean, everybody can find a drill beat that they can rap on. First of all, it's easy to edit because it's normally just sample clips. You know what I'm saying? So it's real easy to fucking manipulate and really turn into something.
Exactly.
Most of them would be using 808 drop kits when the early days, and they were literally punching it in on a little beat machine this big. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
yep. And for me, my music,
it's real art. You know what I'm saying? Now we got AI and stuff, and we got all kind of other programs we can use, pitch correction, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But back then, it was a real motherfucking thing.
Yeah, I'm still in my closet with the USB mic doing my music. So, and using Audacity to edit because it's like, why not? And so that's where I'm kind of doing what I'm doing the way I'm doing it, you know, on a kind of a low budget. I'm not getting, you know, buying, you know, what the studio costs, like $20,000. or about like if you want the full setup and stuff or more. So it's like, if I can make this music to start pushing my music, start making money from my music, and then start investing that money into my studio, getting the sound better, the music's already getting pushed out. And that's where people need to decipher. And I think this has to do with our mental health too, is we have to decipher where, if our art is, if it's going to sell. And I think that's where we got to be honest, and that's where mental health comes in, because you got to be honest with yourself. A lot of us use our art sometimes as like an addiction almost. It's like kind of like to get away. And it's kind of like if we do, go to therapy, we start talking about that stuff, that art turns into something that becomes fun again, something that we can expand on, instead of something that we're sitting in and using as a crutch. And so I'm thinking that's, again, where mental health comes in. And once we can see, hey, like for me, I'm not a good singer. It's like I could push stuff that was me singing. And then, once I kind of get, I'm out of addiction and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, so I was not being honest with myself. I need to switch, to something, and I can continue singing because I love it. But I'm not going to focus my whole life on becoming a singer then. And I think that's what comes with, realizing where we are mentally. But that's a feat in itself, mental health in America. There's not really a system for it right now. We're all kind of on our own. And that's because it's all connected to money. It's connected to whether you have enough money.
Because ain't nobody finna dial no hotline.
Yeah, right. It's like, and that's what a lot of what the millions of dollars that go into like suicide awareness and stuff, it goes to billboards and to hotlines instead of the stuff in the community that people can go to. Human to human mental health treatment is necessary. I'm sure there's going to be a point here soon where AI is starting to talk to people, and
I think it's already happening.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's not going to work. It's like they
don't have no emotion.
In what we've seen right now, what we've seen from AI is that they can be programmed. So, right now we are still in that era of is it healthy for our environment?
Great white wolf.
I mean, I always thought it was crazy going to talk to a therapist. Like, how the fuck is you gonna tell me how the fuck I feel if you ain't go through what the fuck I went through?
And that's where that's where a lot of therapists, I think there needs to be criteria for therapists, because right now there's a lot of book therapists who have never gone through anything. They grew up in a rich household and they got everything given to them, and they don't know why, somebody like us comes in.
Push me some pills.
And they're just, and that's the reality of it, is the pharmaceutical industry does incentivize places, and that's being exposed. So we're moving away from that, thankfully. And
yeah,
a lot of good people in mental health.
Growing up, I was a lab rat. What you gonna do about that?
Right. Exactly. Yes. I think that we're going into an era with AI, especially, where it's going to expose a lot of our flaws, but also it might open the door,
Yeah.
What, you found another song?
Nah, I saw some new people join in. I want them to
got another song.
If you scroll on my
give us more. Shit. Fuck it.
If you scroll down on my reels, I have
on your YouTube?
Yep.
The second one, October, my next song, what a day it is.
If you go to 3 months ago, go down that far about.
September 2nd. August.
Yeah, choose one of those ones. I don't. And these are the ones I just. These are the ones I kind of just did.
Was that like this one?
Scroll down. That was. That's a commercial for my organization.
Here's some things that you this dope in about the weed I smoke. I've been like V54 from my height. They would never know.
You just heard. So if you scroll down,
that's just what they're saying. They told me, but they don't know me. I came from the bottom, empty bottle sitting in the back of the police. There's no peace when you be so bad. You wish you're dead. You don't dream. You pray for the best, but it's always way worse than you expected. Low key. I've been healing, growing, building, yeah, that's your sovereignty. I've been drilling, keeping it real, so no, don't bother me. Don't bother. I'm up against feelings, yeah, they're used to the streets. Still busy preying on our people, the qualifications of a chief. Yeah, we're off the reservation and we're still native. Still hustling for our place, still gonna make it. Still gotta stay sober, just building nations. Still living, not in prison. This is 7th generation, take your place. Yeah, it's hard to be this dope. Paid about the weed I smoke. I been like V54 from my height. They would never know. Still, I get treated like a joke. Looking up, but the bar is low, so that's the reason I'm a ghost in the league. All of my own. Yeah, it's hard to be that dope. They call me Mazakuda. Get your body. I won't do if you push me, buddy. I'm not Buddha, but I'll never shoot. It's more like counting crew up. Don't fuck with me. I'll pass it to my nieces. Don't ask me just how they'll do this. At a disadvantage, cause my standards you can't handle, Junior. Put them in a panic with some stats or hard facts and get to them. While you're busy laughing, got a baddie, puts her back into it. Ain't seen a challenge, so these actors give them attitude. They be that dope. Yeah.
How did you come up with your instrumentals? Like, what makes you pick certain instrumentals?
I literally just search and then it just
you hear some shit and you connect with it and you just
if I can start to say any words to it, I'm just like, oh, this will work. But there's one where it's like if I spend like a minute, let's say a minute trying to start out like what can I say here, I'm just like, no, I gotta change it, because if I have to think too hard, that means I'm the whole time. So that's what essentially, and that's really hard to do, because a lot of those beats that I find are like $500 for like the to buy it, and it's just like, okay, so we'll just keep that as a demo, a non-profit demo, and for now, right? But
so do you own that one?
I own the two that I'm putting out. I own those two. Okay. So, and then I'm hopefully.
Do you normally keep like the same BPM or?
Yeah, usually. Yeah, okay. I think so. Well, you'll hear in some of them. Like I said,
you should email me one of your beats.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
When you get time.
I have a few people now sending me beats. I kind of want to start putting on like the native beat makers and start just utilizing people's beats.
Let's start with you first, because you're important right now, and you're in a hot seat. So
right. Well, yeah.
I think I can throw together probably 4 off that one.
Right.
Email me one of your favorites.
Sweet. Yeah, I can do that, because there's one.
You don't have exclusives on that.
There's a few of them where I think there's one. It's called "I'm a Red Man," and people are like, "You need that one out." And I'm just like,
I'm sorry for laughing. I'm high, but
no, you're good.
I'm a red man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
Right, because in one of the things that we like Sitting Bull, because that was how people could understand. It's like we were the red men, and so we started calling ourselves red men. Like
I was thinking about chewing tobacco.
Oh, right. That's where it came from. That's where it came from. Yep. But yeah, so basically that's where a lot of people don't really hear that. We hear white, we hear black, we hear. Yeah. But when it comes
to always red. I don't know. They say some shit. I just say I'm mutt. Probably mutt.
Red, is like a Western Hemisphere, Central, America thing. It's the Western Hemisphere basically. It's
I ain't never been white. My skin's damn tan and my fucking face is red. I don't know, man. That's just how I've always been.
Yeah,
but I grow hair, so I know I ain't too I can't be too indigenous because I have hair. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's people who are 75% who have hair.
What the fuck you laughing at, Grizz? I'm being dead ass. We being real right now.
I try to grow out a beard though, and it's like, nope.
It used to be red. My beard used to be red. They used to call me red when I used to work on cars. My beard be red and my hair be blonde. But now I'm starting to get the gray. See-through beard
I'd
is
like
what
to
people
cut this
call
off, man. I got a third neck under here, dude. Like, I ain't with that, bro. I'm glad I can grow one. Just
He
a
said,
little
I'm
bit.
hiding my neck. Let me comb my beard.
Yeah. I missed my long one. I didn't have a grizzle, but I had a little bit of long one. I had what we call down here in the south of Pastor Troy.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think that's where all my, my hip hop, my inspiration came from the Southeast, because that, I guess you'll hear it in a lot of my music.
Well, I'll tell you what the fuck what. You gonna love what the fuck I'm finna give you.
Can't wait. Yeah, I need to expand and do a lot more projects now that I'm
Grizzle, we might give him a country rap one, a country trap, a fucking dark and ominous Memphis style. We might give him a sad emotional beat. And hell, we might even throw something crazy in there. It's gonna be wild. Watch what I say. Update to be continued.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you if we can maybe do a listening party with some of your new material when you get it right, man. We'll come on the show, listen to your whole set. We'll talk about it. You get to talk. I would love to do that.
Yeah, man.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we could do that.
It's all about a hand up, not a hand out, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah, and I actually have a podcast as well called the Red Shirt Podcast on Spotify, and that's where you'll hear a lot more me go into depth. I actually started that doing interviews with hip hop artists in the Native community. So I got Natani Means on there, Sten Jotty, and a group called Throne out of Oklahoma. So, and then from there, I kind of expanded in tribal leadership and stuff. So,
hell yeah.
That's awesome.
I found out people just really, when it comes down to it, they just want to hear. They want to hear about those basic things. So that's why I'm gonna start laying out, just getting on to just like I do with the schools and the educations where we all start to kind of click and work together. We can see where how we all are in this together, basically, when it comes down to it. But yeah,
that's cool, man. Shoot, man, that's been a hell of a show, dude. I can't wait to hear more music and to hear more, man.
You make me proud to be a rapper, dude. You deserve so much more.
Yeah, I actually just started doing a big push with this because my boss, my organization, is just like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you not doing hip hop?" And I'm like, yeah, kind of. So what I did was, paired it with this educational message so that I enjoyed it as well, as much as because I love having fun, I love doing that stuff. But if the message, and as far as I'm concerned, for me being in Dakota and the state that we're in, if I can't pair it with that something with that message, I don't really, I don't feel it, I don't feel like doing it, type of thing, And
that's your heart, man. That's your heart speaking.
Right, and that's the same with art. Like I'm a tattoo artist, and I do a lot of tattoo flash.
Oh wow!
And so that I translated that into making T-shirt designs for my organization, where it's Sitting Bull, where it's Crazy Horse, and all them, and just animated and it's basically kind of like tattoo flash, but with a topic, so people can kind of see there's a story to it, and that's kind of
that's cool.
I've been in the tattoo industry for the last 14 years, licensed and certified.
I unfortunately here in Minnesota have started apprenticeships, and unfortunately never got to finish them. So I'm like sitting on a lot of.
You got a computer in your fucking hand. You can learn everything you need to know, dude.
Right, exactly.
Other than how to deal with fucking people.
Oh wow!
They're assholes.
Damn.
My hip hop name was Slim Luck, and then people were like, "That's
gangster."
They're like, "That doesn't really fit you because of your message." So I was like, "I'll just go to my native name, which is Iron Shooter."
It's all right to be a gangster preacher.
I like the Iron Shooter, dude. I can't wait to keep following you. I'm gonna be following you, man. on your journey, man. This is awesome music, man.
I appreciate it. I do.
I had
Oh,
something
we
to
finna
ask
get
you.
some more. I'm dead serious. Send me
Oh
some.
yeah. Well, powwows. Like I hear a lot about powwows, but some people ain't allowed to come to powwows. Or is there?
Well, yeah, powwows. They originally actually started in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. He kind of started that, and that was
I was
pulling.
fixing to ask that. I was like, is this disrespectful?
Oh no, honestly, and that's the thing that I want people to know is that we're in a day and age where, you know, some people might get offended because they think that you're supposed to know that. Unfortunately, the same education, you know, that he didn't get, you didn't get either, unfortunately. So it's like, if the natives aren't even getting this education, why would anyone else be? So we're all kind of in the dark with a lot of this stuff. So it's like, ask all the questions you want. We should be asking you questions too, because there's a lot of misconceptions from every angle just because of the position. It was like the United States put us all against each other, and we all kind of ignore each other now. We just need to talk to each other. You know, it's pretty. I look angry until you talk to me. You know, it's
I
like
don't think you look angry.
the second you talk to me, it's just like, but in public, it's like I'm 6'3", you know, dark.
I understand. I get it.
So tattooed. If people are just like, oh my, and then they talk to me, and it's like, oh, I'm glad I talked to you because I wouldn't have if you didn't speak up. And I'm like, okay, well, glad I did.
I'm a jolly old fellow myself.
I love
I
the history.
understand exactly what you're saying.
I love the history and all of that, man.
Yep. And so what happened was the Buffalo Bill's Wild West show kind of pulled out the ceremonies, and then kind of it started to profit off of them. So that kind of rolled into it was outlawed until 1978 or 1968. It was outlawed for us to practice our traditions and our dancings and our singing. So we ended up, when that happened, we kind of took that model of the Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, and we kind of just like laid it out, and we started doing powwows ourselves. That's where we started to set up our vending and our, like, you know, selling and selling food, and it kind of turned into kind of like a fair type thing. And unfortunately, what that has done, and it's still obviously bringing our culture together, but what it's done is it's painted a picture a little bit of like a competition with our, you know, mixed with sacred tradition. And so what you'll see at powwows is people have numbers on their backs. People are dancing for a pot of money, or singing for a pot of money. And that's the situation that we've unfortunately been put in, as, you know, at the highest poverty rates. Some of our reservations are at 60%. And for, you know, even for African Americans in the United States, they're looking at 25 to 30%. So that's double, you know, what we're seeing in you know, LA, in those areas that are high in poverty, in Chicago and New York. But so that's it's forced our people to try to make money anywhere we can. And that is where, unfortunately, we start selling ourselves. You know, we sell our language, or we sell our songs, or we sell ourselves, because we think that's the only way. And like, for a lot of people, that is the only way, because they.
You heard that, Grizzle? Every time we go out there and we go to shooting dices, we're selling ourselves, bro.
Yeah. Well, you're losing money, so all that stuff is set up for you to lose money and them to make it. So it sucks, but a lot of. And like I said, with those casinos, you know, these big casinos have to give 30% of their stuff away to a charitable donation, right?
I was talking about the gas station, cuz I don't know nothing about no casinos.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know you said shooting dice.
Bottom of the bottom, baby.
Around here, because we are in Minnesota, it's there's a lot of casinos here. So when someone says shooting dice, it's kind of like.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about the hood shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
we roll 3 dice.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I think I'm trying to think of what subject we were on, about where I was going with that.
I'm sorry, I keep.
Oh yeah, no, it was a powwow. Sorry, I just wanted to
finish up on the powwow too. You know, ADHD and shit. My bad.
Right, no, you're good. Powwows essentially now, like I said, have turned into, and not all of them, but essentially they've turned into the money making grounds. And And that's not a bad thing. We all deserve an economy. I think that we can turn those powwows into something that we do instead of once a year. It's something that we could do every weekend and make it a cultural experience, as well as bringing in the economy for the natives. Because right now, a lot of powwows, there's 2 of them in the year, and then basically everyone gets to those. They're like, we need to sell as much stuff as we can, and then it's gone, until the next year. So, we should be doing that every year, every weekend.
Tattoo convention.
Right. Yeah. It's like, no, it's like we should be doing that every weekend in our communities, right? Like, why not?
Right.
That's the hope.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's cool, man. I appreciate that. Sweet, man.
If you guys ever have any questions with me, I understand where we are educationally, so it's like nothing's gonna offend me.
That's what I'm trying to do, is learn the culture. I've been wanting to learn the culture and things. I'm part Cherokee and Irish.
Right. Well, yeah, that's where I think all of us in general need to start reconnecting, whether we're Irish or whether we're Cherokee or whether we're Swedish, Norwegian, German, whatever. Once we reconnect to those roots, it's like we start to find ourselves, find who we were. Once you know your story, it's like, honestly, that boosts me into like my 4th great grandfather was in Wounded Knee at the Wounded Knee massacre, and he survived. He witnessed it, and his account is in a book called All Shots Fired at Once. But his name was Peter One Skunk. But he was in Wounded Knee, and I don't know if you know about that, but 350 plus women, children massacred by the U.S. military in the late 1800s, and essentially a lot of those people got medals of honor for that. And on our side, we got a lot of my people.
I'm sure busted a lot of heads too, man.
Oh yeah, that's why what happened was we had just we didn't just beat Custer, but we had just kind of stood up to the United States government, won a few battles, and essentially the people they killed was a group of essentially refugees from a different battle, which was women and children and elders. There wasn't really any of our men with, so it was a lot of, obviously there were some men who were, taking care of the women, children, and elders, but basically they wiped out, when you wipe out our women, it's like, that's hard to reestablish. And that's what happened to the Minikoju, unfortunately. And when you hear about Wounded Knee, you'll hear it's Lakota, but I want people to start learning the specifics, and it's Minikoju who were the band, and there was another Hunk Papa, which is Sitting Bull's band too, that were involved in that. But just learning those specific names kind of gives the respect more, so because there's a lot of Lakota bands, so it's like not all of us were even at the Battle of Little Bighorn either. So it was or what we call it, it was called Greasy Grass. So just kind of learning those basic things helps.
Some gangsta ass shit.
Right, helps us understand like there was 2 sides to the story, and a lot of the times we lost because we trusted the wrong people. It wasn't about us losing because we didn't have power.
Sisters.
We basically we got out, and in reality, when it comes to governments and history, we got outsmarted with treaty language, and then they broke the treaty anyway. So it's like, what do you do with that? That'd be like, what do you do with a superpower that breaks your treaty? It's like, you can't really do anything. It's like, I'll complain about it, but that's where we're at. So that's why I think we need to, once we know the education, lay it all out, then we can make the decision for ourselves. It's like, and that's the kind of the era we're going into.
Yeah.
All I can say is get ready to rap.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I can't wait to hear more from you.
I appreciate you having me on, and I'm gonna keep on get this one finished first. This what a day it is to be a native, and then work on something probably a little bit more upbeat from there. So if you guys have something for a little bit more.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you, Zilla Gorilla.
It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Definitely.
I'll be hitting you up. I'll add you both and on everything. So
appreciate it, man. Shout out to the chat. And much love to Rube Dog, our old co-host. He'll be passing away this weekend.
right to hear that.
Yeah. He's always going to be remembered on the show. We'll have a memorial show for him soon.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But shoot. Much love, everybody. And I hope everybody has a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
LEPtv.Live.
See ya.
You too, man.